Hey there, friends. The Movie Grader here. Ever heard of Anchor? Anchor gives you everything you may need in one place for free in order to make a podcast. It can be done right from your phone or computer. Anchor's creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great and it's ready for prime time. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard wherever podcasts are available. Platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and even Google Podcasts. Also, you can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. To get started, download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm. Hello, and welcome to the Movie Grader and Friends podcast, the podcast made by a movie enthusiast for all you other movie enthusiasts. Sit back with a tub of popcorn as movies, both new and old, from cult classics to all-time favorites, blockbusters, and award winners get discussed and reviewed. Enjoy. All right. Hello and welcome back to the Movie Grader and Friends podcast. I am Billy, the Movie Grader, and in this episode, I'm joined by my lovely friend, Shoshana. Say hello.
Hello. Oh, hello.
In this episode, we will be discussing and grading the latest addition to the Fast and Furious franchise, Hobbs and Shaw, as well as reminiscing about the older Fast and Furious movies, discussing whether the future of the Fast franchise is bright or running on an empty tank. And then we find out whether Shoshana is more Hobbs or more Shaw through a personality quiz.
Looking forward to it.
Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw opened up in theaters on August 2nd, 2019. Directed by David Leitch, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Luke Hobbs and Jason Statham as Deckard Shaw. Per IMDb.com, the plot goes as follows. Lawman Luke Hobbs and outcast Deckard Shaw form an unlikely alliance when a cyber-genetically enhanced villain threatens the future of humanity. What did you think about going into the film? What were your expectations? Did it meet or exceed your expectations?
It actually met my expectations and a little bit exceeded because it was hilarious and it didn't take itself too seriously. Like they knew this was an action movie and they knew it wasn't going to be, Oscar,
Right.
but they wanted to make like a fun popcorn action flick. And I think to me, they did it. Like they exceeded my expectations because I was laughing throughout the entire film.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
and yeah, it was just so funny. Like, I have to say that even though he had a small part, but Ryan Reynolds was hilarious.
Yes.
Like, not to give a spoiler, but there was a part where he had like a necklace, and if you know what that was like, and he shows the necklace, and he even wears the necklace like it's like his badge of honor.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you see the movie and you see the necklace, you'll just laugh hysterically. Yeah.
Their whole relationship was pretty funny. I mean,
Oh yeah. It was definitely. How about you, Billy? What do you think?
I mean, like to me, the whole Fast and Furious franchise jumped the shark a long time ago, and it became, silly rather than serious like the earlier films were. But I'm fine with it. It's become a fun franchise for me, like where you said, you know what you're getting into going into the film, and you're going to be entertained, and you're okay with it.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I remember we were talking earlier about like the motorcycle.
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, if you want to just I don't drive a motorcycle, but if it was a motorcycle, that's the motorcycle I want to drive.
Admittedly, I'm still too scared to ride a motorcycle. Yes, if I were to be riding a motorcycle, that would be the one.
Yeah, like because that looked like a loyalty motorcycle, like it was gonna go to you and it's gonna make sure you stay on and be with it.
Yeah, I knew where you were.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Like jump from a building, and it would be right below you wherever you land. It was a smart motorcycle.
Exactly. And I remember you said earlier, and I'm going to take your words, it's a transformer type of motorcycle.
Absolutely.
It really was a transformer motorcycle. I'm like, and I was thinking they should really make those. So not only would it save lives, but also be really fun just to have fun and play around with.
It totally would be. like I said, I don't ever plan to ride a motorcycle, but if it were to come to that, that would be the one. I don't think those actually exist in the world, but
It's always fun to fantasize, and then that's why we go to the movies. So
Hollywood magic.
yeah, Hollywood magic. Totally. And then I have to say there's another of my favorite scene in this film, and and I was still talking about it at the end of the film to my friends and family,
Uh,
was there was the elevator scene
oh
with
God,
Shaw and
right.
Hobbs. That was amazing. And like, so their characters, they bicker, but they're also trying to, fight the bad guys. So
Yeah,
they're fighting the bad guys, but yet still bickering. Like,
yeah.
and they know what they're doing. Like, it was just, I just thought it was so
Especially
funny.
like the whole scene leading up to the elevator, like
Yes,
what they had to go through in order to get to
yes,
that point.
yes. That was like, I was just like, oh my gosh. And it wasn't annoying. It was just like, wow, they have that chemistry, and it wasn't annoying, and it was just hilarious. It kept the flow going.
Statham and The Rock are great at portraying bickering old men throughout the whole movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was great. And even before as you mentioned that before the elevator scene, I remember like at the beginning, there's that split camera scene
Oh,
where you
that was
see
awesome.
that was really good. Like I thought whoever did the camera work that was really good camera work because they showed different aspects of their lives, but
Yeah,
how they're the same.
yeah.
And the
That's
camera
how
angles were great.
yeah, that's how the movie opened. It showed how they each wake up and how what they eat for breakfast and their
Oh
morning
yeah.
routines at the exact same time in sync. But
They're totally different. Yeah, and you see how they sleep differently, and how when they leave their homes, how like what do they do when they leave their homes, and how they like what do they do to prep themselves, kind of say. So
and also too, you get kind of like a flavor for each of their ways they go about business in
yes.
that scene too. Not to give too much
Yes.
away,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Jason
Yeah.
Statham using a champagne bottle
Oh
and The
yeah.
Rock uses a tattoo gun.
Oh yeah. No, that was a great comparison of how like that's their personality in this film. So I thought that was great. That was a great scene.
Right.
And then I did dig up some IMDb trivia, which I thought it was great. There's a lot, but these two just like I just thought they were really interesting. So during this scene when Shaw shows off his collection of cars to Hobbs, he pauses onto the Mini Cooper. I don't know if you
Yes.
remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he hinted at the
Yes.
film of the Italian Job. Yeah,
Yes.
so I thought that was great. I was like, yes, yes.
And also and also too the conversation he has over FaceTime with his daughter about the whole eyebrow.
Yes. Yes. Like
Alluding back to his wrestler days.
yes, I love how they're both characters are like that. They're like hinting towards their other. It's like breaking the fourth wall, like
Yeah.
their other, but not fully breaking it. They're like hinting at it.
No, it's kind of
So
like a little Easter egg, I guess. What you would.
yeah, absolutely. And then I remember, and then the other trivia was the Ryan Reynolds joked that he should play Deadpool in this film. And I'm really like, I thought that would be hilarious. Like if he just made a little Easter egg or a little cameo in there, I thought that would be hilarious.
He
But
gets
then,
pretty close to it.
yeah, he does. He does play a little close to it, but not all the way.
No.
So where he's just always playing Deadpool. But I thought that would be hilarious if you just see Deadpool just swinging by and just like doing something else totally completely different in this franchise. I thought that would be hilarious. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad they didn't because,
yeah, they really can't because that's from a comic book universe, and this is, I guess, somewhat serious, even though it's
right, right.
not.
I guess like an action flicks universe, like the action flicks universe.
But I would love to see it as well.
Yeah. So what do you grade? Before I give my grade, I'm curious what your grade
I
is.
I gave it a C actually because even though it's kind of a lower grade, it's like mid. It was okay. It was fine. I still enjoyed the heck out of it, but
Right.
like you said, it's not vying for any Oscar, and it's just a fun action movie. You go and let your mind go, and
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
mindless entertainment. That's not like Inception where you have to actually pay attention to the whole thing.
Oh,
And
I had to see that movie twice, Inception, because that really Like because there's a lot of detail in that movie.
I still don't understand it.
It takes a lot in. There's a lot to take in that movie. So, but for this movie, I rated a B- because I thought it kind of reminded me back in the 90s where there were so many great action flicks that just kept coming. And I'm like, man, I kind of, and nowadays people are with that, nostalgic,
Sure.
old, back in the 80s and 90s, people are going back. So I give this a B-.
Yeah, nostalgia and retro is very, very in right now.
Very in. So that's why I think I bumped it up to like the B-.
Yeah, it was kind of like the old school over the top action movie.
Oh yeah, it definitely was.
And it reminded me a lot of remember the Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon movies, Grumpier Old Men?
Yes. Yeah, it does. Wow, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah, no, it does. And like and I think that's why people come in to see it, because it kind of like that too. Like it just brings you back in the day. Wow, I feel kind of older now.
You don't expect it, but it was totally like that. I mean, the amount of insults they trade between the two characters, it was just perfect.
It was perfect. They had great chemistry.
And just the looks of them alone, like Jason Statham. I mean, like if it seems to me like I'm sure he's the nicest guy in the world, if you were to meet him, but like if you were to look at him funny, he would kick your ass within a few seconds.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So and like, no, that's totally true. And like, I actually read online, not only Dwayne Johnson, of course, works out, but he works out too.
Oh yeah.
So you could tell they're both, pretty, and you have to be in these action flicks to be physically fit. You can't just some random person just walk on the set and be like, okay, I'm ready to do all these stunts and moves. And so.
No, especially at the end where The Rock is, I think he does like the haka with other I guess brothers. I forget what brothers was in Samoan, but they used it a lot. Uso, I think it was, or I forget what it was. I think Uso, but he comes out of the dance wearing like nothing but like a very cool, like I guess like not skirt but wrap, and
it's the wrap, yeah.
But
it kind of shows like that respect of family. Like family is important, which I thought that was really cool. So I thought that like there was a lot of movie elements that you weren't expected, and that's what I liked about it. Like every character was great. Like every character was hilarious. Every character was good. Everyone acted really well. You could tell everyone, it wasn't mismatch or anything.
I liked The Rock's brother in it too. What's his name? Curtis. I forget his last name, but he's huh?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, he was a wrestler before.
Oh, he was a wrestler
actor.
Too?
Yeah, that's actually the IMDb in the trivia. Yeah, he was and they're actually cousins in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I thought that was cool.
I wish he was in it more. I enjoy his work. Whatever he's done, he's always been very good in.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so now I'm ready for the quiz.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, basically we could also touch on too the numerous car chases and fighting choreography that went on. That was also.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we could do that. So because I don't want to give spoilers away, because the ending, like, of course the ending was over the top, but it was like awesome. But it was awesome over the top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought it was great because the director, David Leitch, was actually a stuntman and stunt coordinator before he turned into a director. So he made sure all the stunts were on point, obviously.
Oh, yeah, that totally makes sense. Because, yes, it was over the top, but it was just like, you're just like, wow, this is amazing.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I guess now we can move on to that quiz segment.
Okay, yeah.
Find out whether Shoshana is more like Hobbs or Shaw.
Okay.
Alrighty, so let me get over to it. This is actually a BuzzFeed.com quiz. Choose a Fast and Furious movie. The Fate of the Furious, Fast 5, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, or Furious 7.
I know this wasn't a huge fan favorite, but I actually like the Tokyo Drift. I thought that was really interesting.
I never saw it, to be honest.
No, it was actually, I was really intrigued. Like when I came into it, I had nothing. I just went in there just to watch it, and I really liked it.
It's the only one in the franchise I haven't seen.
Oh, Billy, you got to watch it.
Okay, I'll get around to it one day. The next part is pick a city that isn't LA or London. We're going to either Paris, Sydney, Hong Kong, or Cape Town.
Paris.
Paris. Okay. Let's see. Choose another movie franchise. The Avengers, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, or James Bond.
Star Wars.
All right. Which classic Fast and Furious quote is your favorite? The thing about street fights, the street always wins. Or, Daddy's gotta go to work. I don't have friends. I got family. And I will beat your ass like a Cherokee drum.
These are all great quotes. I know you can't pick all of them, but these are all really. I would have to go with the first one though.
Okay, the thing about street fights.
Yeah. But they're all great quotes. I have to say they're all pretty hilarious.
Okay. Who should play Shaw's love interest? Jennifer Lopez, Halle Berry, Danai Gurira, Gurira. I don't know who that is, or Meryl Streep.
I would say Halle Berry.
Yeah, of course. Halle's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Choose something other than a car to drive. A tank, a rocket, a high-speed train, or a submarine.
No motorcycle?
Not here.
I guess the tank. We'll
All right,
just pick
going
the tank.
with the tank. All right. And which Fast and Furious character do you secretly hate? Roman Pierce, Letty Ortiz, Dominic Toretto, or Mr. Nobody?
I like all of them though. I mean, I know. Okay, I'll just pick Mr. Nobody though.
Okay, we'll go with him. All right.
Yeah.
And the results are in. You are Luke Hobbs.
Nice.
It's strong, hardworking, loyal, and love to say some bitch. You're also always sweaty, but only in a sexy way.
That's awesome. I mean, they're both
There
great
you have it.
characters, so this is great.
There we have it. Shoshana is Luke Hobbs.
Minus the tattoos, but yes. Everyone should take that quiz. That's a good quiz.
BuzzFeed.com. Go Google it.
Have you taken it yourself, Billy? Have you?
No, I haven't. That was just specially for you, but
I
think I'd be more of a Hobbs, honestly.
Okay, so we're both Hobbs.
Yeah.
So it'll be like a Hobbs and Hobbs show.
Exactly. Yeah. If somehow the next installment tanks and they need replacements for The Rock and Statham, I think we could step in.
Oh yeah, we could both play Hobbs, and then we could have like a cameo of Shaw, and Shaw could be our guest, our special guest. So how's that for?
That works. As long as they give us a few years to hit the gym a bit harder, I'm okay.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
okay with it.
I'm okay with it too. And special trainers and yeah.
Okay, so without giving anything away, of course, what we already know, how do you feel about the future of the franchise and where it's going?
I'm actually excited. I know there's so much. I think there's Fast and the Furious 10. I think there's 10 of them. But
right,
yeah, or more. But I'm actually excited because I like action flicks, and I know as it progresses, it gets a little bit ridiculous, but it still has that main theme of with the cars and trying to manipulate things and trying to get trying to beat the bad guy, but then there's also the good guys who are not really bad, and
right,
and the story does progress. And what's But the part that is, which is kind of sad, is, Paul Walker, he
Yeah.
passed away, but they're still continuing it, which I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm excited for the future of the franchise too, with the two additions that were made into the two additional characters that were made into the movie. That,
Yes.
we talked about one of them, but we're not going to spoil the other.
No.
Funny.
No. No, I'm not. No, definitely not spoiling it.
I really enjoyed that scene as well, but we can't talk about it because it was actually supposed to be a secret. So we're not going to let cat out of the bag. Go see the movie.
Yes, please see the movie. It's fun. It's definitely fun.
All right. Well, that just about wraps it for Hobbs and Shaw. Next, we're going to talk about next week's upcoming movies that are going to hit the theaters, which all open on August 9th. And the first one to talk about, I know you're probably down for this, but it's not in my wheelhouse. It's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes. I'm totally looking. I'm a huge horror film fan, and I'm totally looking for this. I used to read the books as a kid. Like, I just remember I always read this during the summertime too, because it's like you're around the fire and you want to tell scary stories, and these are really good. These, I think to this day, they're still good.
I'll never forget, I don't know, it must have been like 4th or 5th grade. Always somebody had like the library copy on hand, and it would always get passed along to everybody. And I think one story was about Bloody Mary, something about looking into like the bathroom mirror, spraying water on it and saying Bloody Mary 3 times.
Yeah.
And of course, nothing ever happened. But
no. But it's still kind of like that scary camp story.
All right, moving on is Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
Yes.
It's directed by James Bobbin, and it's based on the educational TV show where a teenage Dora is set out on an adventure to save her parents in the Lost City of Gold. I mean, despite the fairly strong cast of Benicio del Toro, Eva Longoria, Danny Trejo, Eugenio Derbez, and Michael Pena, I'm pretty sure I'm skipping this one as well.
Why? The trailer looks good. It actually looks like a fun adventure.
If anybody catches me watching this in the theater, just know that I lost a bet.
Okay. Okay, how about this? I'll watch this one for you. And try to convince you to watch it. It looks fun. It just looks fun, like a fun adventure.
It does look. I'll give that to you. It does look fun. It's just I don't know. It's
like Jumanji.
Yeah, it does. It's fine for kids. The kids will enjoy it. And the only thing that was creative from the trailer that I saw was where she breaks the fourth wall like she does in the actual show. And her parents look at her as if she's crazy or something. I thought that was well done. But other than that, there's nothing in there for me.
Well, I'll watch that one for you. How's that?
Okay. Moving on to the third and final movie of the week is The Kitchen. It's actually directed by Andrea Berloff. It stars Elizabeth Moss, Melissa McCarthy, and Tiffany Haddish. It's about the New York gangster wives in the 1970s that continue the crime life while their husbands are incarcerated. And I cannot wait for this one.
I'm a huge Melissa McCarthy fan, so I would definitely watch this. I think she is talented. So
she's phenomenal. She's one of the best around.
Oh yeah. I mean, all the other actresses are talented too, but I'm just a huge fan. Well, I'll definitely see this one too. So I'll see all 3 movies you mentioned so far.
Yeah, I mean, I already got my ticket for The Kitchen. I'm ready. I'm going on Friday. So
nice.
Because for some reason this one doesn't have a Thursday release. I don't know why, but
interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Kind of pissed me off, but oh well.
Oh well, at least you're seeing it though. That's
exactly. Shoshana, would you like to drop your social media handles?
Sure. So my Instagram is s_i_creations. It has all my artwork. I also do comic artwork on there too. Just give you a little. I have the Joker and Harley Quinn on there and Batman. And I'm also a huge Tim Burton I like Tim Burton's style, so I have like Beetlejuice on there. So
it's beautiful stuff.
Oh, thank you. And I also support, and I also advertise. So if you need any advertisement, I like to support local artists.
Exactly. By the way, she's on the opposite side of the country, and we're doing this through the magic of the internet.
Yes. He's West Coast, I'm East Coast.
Yes. All right. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Movie Grader. And please visit my website, themoviegrader.com. On iTunes, please review and subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Also, please tell your friends about the podcast. I would very much appreciate it. The Movie Grader and Friends podcast is available on most podcast platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and basically anywhere you get your podcasts. This has been the Movie Grader and Friends podcast. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Shoshana, and please email me at themoviegrader@gmail.com with any comments or suggestions, and we will see you next week for the kitchen episode. Take care.
Yay.
Bye, Shoshana.
Bye.